Hey everyone, I just had a couple of hours here, so I thought I would just resort to take the time to edit my novel, or one of my older novels, actually, Cruel and Beautiful, which I believe has not been talked about yet on this channel. This is the one. Yes, I've talked about it a little bit. This is the one that I am going to release next in February. So please look forward to that. I will be talking about it more in the future. I'm not sure whether I'll mention what it's about on the stream or not. I'm mostly just on just to be on. Oops. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, boring. So I'm taking that out. Oops. Hang on. Yeah, it's amazing how you can just cut out like large sections of a novel and then it just flows even better. Yep. Awesome. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not too long of a novel. I could probably finish editing it, or at least reading through it today. It's just a matter of like, well, I want to expand on it some more. Because the big thing now that I'm self-published is that like I'm not obligated to keep things under a certain quota. I can just publish everything I want whenever I want, which is very, very nice. Awesome. Love it. Damn. Wait, it just happened. Yeah, definitely one of the weirder things I've noticed in the past couple of days. I'm not very good at writing opening chapters. Like rereading the early chapters are like they're very, very weak. They don't get good until chapter 2 or so, like later on. Oof. So yeah, that's been something I've been trying to fix. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Breath of the Wild is a phenomenal video game. Thank you very much. Legitimately one of the greatest of all time. Only a complete pleb would say otherwise. Definitely one of the most contrarian opinions you could have right now. It really does feel that way at this point. It really does feel like all this Nintendo backlash is just contrarianism, not based on any real opinion. Yep. Mm. Awesome. All right. Right now, my expectation is that like I have to make this a little bit longer because it is a little bit shorter than Eye of the Dragon by about 60,000 words. Oh yeah, game of the decade for sure. Breath of the Wild is phenomenal. Yep. Yeah, I'm not even sure what else could even compete with Breath of the Wild for game of the decade. I don't know. Like I'm coming up with like Fire Emblem Awakening. I don't think that's close. I mean, I love Fire Emblem Awakening, but I don't think it's as good as Breath of the Wild. Yeah. I'm putting games I absolutely adore. Like saying, yeah, games I absolutely adore aren't as good as Breath of the Wild. Like Three Houses, I would say, is not as good as Breath of the Wild. Like I would say, Super Mario 64, lots of classic Super Nintendo games. Like I think Breath of the Wild is legitimately one of the best games Nintendo has ever put out. And of course, Nintendo games are like a step above the rest of the industry anyway. Mhm. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Wow, I'm very happy. I don't think I consider Breath of the Wild a AAA game. Maybe I'll make a video about this. Maybe I should. But like AAA to me means that generic, uninspired, mass market, mainstream trash that you see on Xbox and PlayStation, right? Like I'm talking about like the Call of Duties, the FIFAs, like stuff like that, like stuff that's meant for like this very big mass audience that has no real niche appeal. That's sort of like watered down and diluted and sort of that's AAA gaming. Like Breath of the Wild can't really. I don't consider. I've never felt Nintendo games are AAA, and I think a lot of people kind of feel the same way, right? Unless you're a pleb who sort of thinks that like, oh, Nintendo should be taking more cues from the rest of the industry. No, like I don't think Pokemon can be considered AAA, even though it's so much better than actual AAA games and sells a lot more than a lot of them, other than like Call of Duty, I think. Pokemon, it's on a budget. It has like restrictions. They do more creatively. They're more fun to play. Like it's hard for me to label Pokemon a AAA game You know what I mean? And I feel that way about a lot of Nintendo games, like Xenoblade. Like honestly, Xenoblade is probably the most AAA game out there on Nintendo Switch because it has the same sort of like design philosophies. Like, ooh, have the big open world. Ooh, have the visuals. Ooh, have the storyline. Ooh, it's so great. It's just, it's frustrating. It's not a coincidence that Xenoblade is my least favorite Nintendo series by far. There's not a single Xenoblade game I really like. Good night. Whatever. Yeah, this is good. I really enjoyed this. Awesome. Oh, oops. Let me see. Lots of chats. Yeah, I really like Luigi's Mansion 3. I still haven't finished it. I'm just so busy with like working and just trying to promote my book and like doing all this stuff, writing other books. I'm working on like what, 2 projects right now, technically. So I have this, I have like Cruel and Beautiful that I'm publishing next month. I have Rabbit Hole that I need to finish. I have like all of this stuff. I'm just, ooh, very, 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 very fun. But yeah, I do want to finish Luigi's Mansion 3 for sure. I really, really enjoyed it. I think I might prefer the first 2 more, but I think that's just my preference. Really, like I'm not going to sit here and say that like, oh, Dark Moon was so much better. Oh, the original was so much better. No, it's just a matter of opinion. Everyone always goes on about how Breath of the Wild is not a good game, and yet they can never justify it. It's it's definitely one of those examples of just only hating something because it's a Nintendo exclusive. Oh yeah, and Skyward Sword was pretty good too. Like, did you seriously try and say that Skyward Sword is like the most disappointing game of the decade? Like, shit, there are so many games. Like, it's a great game, and I was actually going to make a video about the most disappointing games of the decade. I actually should get around to that. Where's my on my phone? I gotta document that. Yeah, most disappointing games of the decade, the worst games of the decade, and the best games or worst Nintendo games of the decade. Because there's only so many times you can talk like about AAA games and how terrible they are. I want to talk about like the really bad Nintendo stuff, which does exist, but hilariously, people don't actually bring them up at all. Instead, they shitpost about like Skyward Sword. They seriously try and say Breath of the Wild is a bad game. It's embarrassing. I don't even remember what floor I'm on. I'm on the Egyptian one with the pyramids. It's not that long of a game. I really just haven't gotten back to finishing it yet. Definitely. I'm definitely not impressed with with a lot of these Breath of the Wild complaints. Like every time I see them, it's just like, yeah, they're you never learned how to play the game. That's all there is to it. Yes, yes, yes. Last Guardian was a huge disappointment. In general, I would say like every single major PlayStation release has been a disappointment, like an extreme, severe, like debilitating, like console destroying disappointment. Sony has like released nothing but disasters, like all generation long, right? From Knack to I suppose The Last of Us Part Two is going to be their last major release for PS4. Yeah, yeah. I need to make a video about that. Like the death of PS4. Like this is the PS4's last year, and it never got any games. Like everything of value on it was also available on PS3, and honestly, really should have been on Wii U and Switch. There was nothing of value on PS4 at all. It just, oof. I need to go through all the lists, like the list of everything that came out for PS4. Like, yeah, Knack is the big one. Killzone, disappointing. What even was that first? Like, there was nothing that first couple of years, right? Up until Bloodborne came out, which is way overhyped. Like anyone who says that's the best game ever made is delusional. One of my favorite games ever, says Jim Sterling. Witcher 3 is, of course, a disappointment and is on Switch. What else is there? I don't even know, man. There's nothing. Like I know people who own Xboxes. I am one of them who don't own a single good game for them. It's gotten that bad. Like people don't know what's on Xbox. People don't like Xbox. Like at this point, they really are just buying them because, well, I liked old Xboxes. God of War 2018 was trash. Yeah, I've made videos about that. Yep, Uncharted 4 was shit. Horizon Zero Dawn was shit. Infamous was shit. We actually were talking about Infamous on the Discord. I brought this up. I noticed this. Nobody is seriously talking about an Infamous sequel. Like it's so interesting how like every time Sony releases a new IP, it's like some big exciting deal. And yet within a couple of entries, it's like gone and forgotten about, and nobody wants more of it. Like seriously, I haven't seen anyone seriously demand Infamous second, third son or whatever, like Infamous 3 or just any of this stuff. Like the games simply are not that good. And I own the first two. I know what I'm talking about. I have played through both of the first two games, and I dislike both of them. Honestly, the only thing that really sticks out to me about them are like the endings, which are legitimately really, really good. I think I actually almost cried during the bad ending of Infamous 2, which is really bizarre because like 90% of that story is terrible. It has like the greatest ending to a bad video game I think I've ever seen in my life. I think it was the bad ending. I think they might both be good, if I'm recalling correctly. Maybe I'm misremembering, but like I was baffled by how good the ending sequence was, like writing wise compared to like how lazy the rest of the game was. Yeah, I really it wasn't worth playing through the entire game, obviously, but like it was surprisingly high quality. Oh yeah, yeah. Persona 5 is definitely coming to Switch at some point. Like they confirmed a Joker costume for Tokyo Mirage Sessions. It is going to happen at some point. There's too much. There's just too much Persona 5 on Switch. Like at this point, the only thing Persona 5 related that's not on Switch is Persona 5 itself. And I strongly suspect that's due to Sony's influence more than anything else. Yep, yep. Yeah, yeah, I own Halo Master Chief Collection, and I do intend on playing it eventually, but I want to get through my backlog first before getting Xbox Live and like hopping on online because I think I will be playing Halo for a while, assuming it's as good as people say it is. I think I will get like a year's worth of Xbox Live, play Halo, have it be like my thing for like a year, and then sort of move on. So I have that experience essentially. Because I do want to play Halo. I mean, I grew up like hearing about how great it was. I'll have to play it eventually, but that's assuming it's good, and it might not be as good as people say it was. I'm almost expecting that at this point. Like I'm almost like kind of expecting this to be like this great underwhelming disappointment because like so many other games that people have spent hyping up to me for years have been like extremely underwhelming and disappointing. Like Halo is probably like the last one of the last of these games that I haven't played for myself yet. So like usually I can just like I can talk all this shit about God of War and like Horizon Zero Dawn all I want, but Halo I think I need to actually play to have an idea of what's wrong with it. Oof. Let's see. Good, good, good. Damn, I really hit it out of the park with this one. Oh man, I'm really into this. I haven't read this in like a year, and I'm reading this. Wow, I did a really good job with this one. Wow. Cuphead's not that good. Odyssey isn't that good. Odyssey is Undertale is terrible. Sonic Mania isn't that good. I didn't care for Luigi's Mansion 3 that much. I don't like Smash Ultimate that much. Tropical Freeze is very good. Minecraft technically came out in 2009, so it's not this decade. And Shovel, I don't know. Shovel Knight, I love Shovel Knight, but it's not the game of the decade. I don't know. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is really good. I don't want to make a single change. Mm-hmm. I'll definitely want to When I come back tonight, I think I will pop in some Three Houses. I've been playing Crypt of the Necrodancer on Twitch, by the way, so definitely check that out. That's a lot of fun. It's definitely addicting. Oof. Yes, Box Boy is pretty good. I mean, I can see why people don't play it and why they make fun of it, but I liked what I played of it. I mean, my problem with it is that they like made a bazillion of them. Like, what's the point? Just release one game with a bunch of content. Like, you don't need to release new Box Boy games every couple of weeks. It's just there's like what, like 5 of them now, or 4 of them. It just in like 5 years, that's ridiculous. Less than that, I think, honestly. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Whoa. Enter the Dragon was trash? You hate the classic Bruce Lee movie? Oh, what the fuck? Shit taste. Shit taste. What are you talking about? Wow. 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 That's the worst take I've heard in a while. Well, other than saying Breath of the Wild is a terrible game. Wow, you're just full of these crazy opinions, aren't you? Yeah, I definitely need to watch some more Bruce Lee movies, or more Jackie Chan specifically. I think I've watched all the Bruce Lee movies. He made a lot less stuff than you would think. Something like 5 films total. Like I've seen Fist of Fury and I've seen Enter the Dragon. I need to see like The Big Boss. And I guess I should watch that Game of Death clip that exists. You know how like in every anime ever, there's this like tower where like the characters have to climb to sort of like a Dragon Ball does this. That there's always this tower with like a martial artist on like each floor, and they have to beat him. That's Game of Death. Like Game of Death created that concept, and it's just it's so good. I love that stuff. It's great. Bum 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 bum. Oh, so you did buy my book then? Okay. Thanks for buying it. I really appreciate it. That's some money in my pocket. Yeah. This seems perfect. Like I am very impressed with it. I'm honestly not even sure if I want to add to it. Maybe the ending. We'll have to see. Maybe the opening chapters, but like the core of it seems really good. I'm really happy with this one. Wow. I honestly would have said Eye of the Dragon was better when I finished it, but coming back to this, I might prefer this. Wow. I was not expecting that. And I'm not just like skimming this either. I'm reading it thoroughly. Yeah, so this is about 84,000 words long. It's a little bit shorter than Eye of the Dragon is actually, but I think the pacing helps. and there's like more going on. I had to like explain too much stupid bullshit in Eye of the Dragon, I think. I will not force you. Yep. Love it. Yeah. I need to finish Deadly Premonition. Yeah, I really enjoyed what I played. Xenoblade Chronicles, I hate that. The Wonderful 101 is one of my favorite games of all time. That's a good choice. Shin Megami Tensei 4. I need to play that again. Kid Icarus Uprising. That's another good choice. I'm not sure I would say that's my favorite game of the decade, though. I really need to go back to that one. Tokyo Mirage Section's a really, really good choice. Xenoblade Chronicles X. I don't care for that one. The Last Story. I really like that. And Astral Chain. Man, that's reasonably good. Yep. So you didn't read my book. Okay, that explains a lot. My favorite games, I'm going to have to compile a list. I'm going to have to like go through everything that came out this year and really go through them. Like Breath of the Wild is already on there. I've already confirmed that. Like that is the game of the decade. But like I'm mostly just wanting to look at like everything that came out. There's a lot of good stuff, especially for the 3DS. Like 3DS and Wii U games, I think are the big ones that I think I might overlook. The 3DS especially, because there's a lot of really good shit on 3DS that I don't think gets enough credit for how good they are. I'll have to research and like make a fully fleshed out list. I'm actually planning on picking up editing software sometime in the future. So I think what I'm going to do for like top 10 lists in the future is I'm going to make edited content and then just put it out there that way. While like streaming typically on the side and just ooh. Yes. Every Nintendo's E3 is good. Yep, just like every PlayStation's E3 is bad. Ooh, yeah, PlayStation has confirmed they're not coming back to E3 this year again. And I'm wondering if fanboys are seriously going to try to argue that that PlayStation wins E3 by not showing up again like they did last year. That was embarrassing. Sony's decision to skip E3 2019 is starting to look really smart. Was the platform holder right all along? Like, wow, they literally did not show up at all. And people seriously came out and tried to spin that as being like, ooh, Sony always wins. It's embarrassing. It really is. Downright embarrassing. So now that Sony can't like win E3 every year, I think it's going to be like really more and more apparent that all of the real enthusiasm towards the new games is going to switch. Like they're not going to be able to like fake it anymore. They're not going to be able to pay off these crowds. They're not going to be able to pay off the game journalists. They can't really even imitate like the sheer enthusiasm that of fans on Twitter, right? Like it's there's real genuine excitement for the Switch and really none for the PS5 and Xbox X Series X. Let's see. Sony didn't show up because they have nothing to show. When you get right down to it, like they have nothing for like the entire span of 2019. Like they didn't have anything last year, the year before that, or this year. Like it's embarrassing how long this has been going on. They're really trying to like pad everything out to announce the PS5, which they're hoping is going to overtake the Switch. It's not going to happen, but I really hope the PS5 is another disaster, to be completely honest, like PS3 level disaster, while Switch continues to soar higher and higher. I definitely want PlayStation out of the industry. Like Xbox seems to be on the way out, which is a good thing, but PlayStation needs to go as well. Like we're not going to see like a true renaissance in gaming until everyone is on the same console. Because right now, this has been happening for years. The best games have been like locked, have been Nintendo exclusive. So people on other developers on other consoles did not have to compete with them. They sort of just pretended they didn't exist and like shit talk people who enjoy those games and played them and try to like bully them into buying these other consoles. And most people don't want to own all three platforms. So most people like just buy one and then just get whatever's on that one console. And ooh. Bethesda's E3s are terrible. Yep. My favorite FPS, GoldenEye 64, I would say. I can't think of anything else I like more than that. Yeah, I like it more than Metro Prime. Metro Prime isn't really an FPS. I don't typically like FPS games, but GoldenEye is really something special. Oh, I wouldn't trust I wouldn't trust like social media when it comes to Sony because they pay for shills. They definitely pay for promotion. Yep. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to E3 this year, or at least the next Nintendo Direct, assuming Nintendo decides to go to E3, which is a kind of. Oh, Yeah, which might not happen. We'll have to see. E3 has been dying. It has become irrelevant. It's basically like too corporate. It's not like fun. It's not interesting. I know plenty of people who can go who don't. Like, I believe Angry Joe doesn't go anymore. I just. I would say I definitely prefer Xbox. Definitely. Generally speaking. Yep. Oh yeah, wasn't there a controversy with E3 doxing their employees? I think I read about that a while back. Maybe I should check my phone. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, people are not happy with E3. They're really not. Like, attendees aren't happy there. Companies want to back out. There's no real reason to do it anymore. And it's been nothing but disappointment for the past couple of years. Like, everybody always bring this up. Unless you're a Nintendo fan, E3 has been very, very disappointing. Nobody announces anything. All the releases are like that do get announced are years away, and when they do come out, they're disappointing. They're like, we're at the point now where they'll go up on stage and like talk about mobile games, which no one wants to see, right? Like, mobile games should have their own conference because they're not video games. It's just, I firmly believe that. Like, if they talk about mobile games in this conference that's dedicated to like core gaming, it's a terrible conference. Like, nobody should have to watch that shit. Like, I would like not watch a mobile game conference. Like, I was not happy with Bethesda's last year with how mobile focused they were. Yes, I agree. Nintendo, yeah, E3 2015 was great. Very much enjoyed that. Oof. Bum, 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 bum. Do I have a water? Where's my water? Need water. Damn, have I really been working for an hour? Oof, great, fantastic. I've gotten a good way into it too. I'm not quite halfway through, but probably another hour. I mean, this is what I like doing. I like editing and talking to you guys about games. It's fun. Yeah, Nintendo Treehouse has been consistently great. I don't think there's ever been a bad Nintendo Treehouse showing. Um, the worst Nintendo Direct was E3 2018. That was pretty awful for an E3 Direct. And they still somehow won E3 because the competition is just that weak. But yeah, we're definitely going to have to. We're expecting to get another Direct this week. All they did with the Pokemon Direct was just announce the expansion pass when you get right down to it and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. So I'm hoping we get another one, and I'm hoping we get some more details on what's coming out. I want some new IPs. I want some sequels. I want more stuff. Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is big. I'm pretty happy for the first part of the year, to be honest with you. I'm getting like Oddworld, like Avery Attorney is coming out. I'm getting that. Samurai Showdown in February. Really, really looking forward to that. Animal Crossing, Doom Eternal in March. The TurboGrafx 16 is coming out in March too, so I'm buying that. The TurboGrafx 16 Mini, excuse me. The Mini. I don't think I have anything planned for April. Not yet. So I think they'll be announcing new games to be coming out that will be coming out in April sometime soon. Because it's crazy how short the time frame Nintendo can announce and then release games these days is. Like Astral Chain came out in like what 6 months after being announced out of nowhere, and that was like one of the best games of the year. I expect Bayonetta 3 to be the same, to be honest with you. Like 2 years, like honestly, PlayStation fans are used to games being announced and then coming out like 5 years later. Like 2 years is too long. Like a year should be like the absolute max. Like it should be announced and then it should come out like within that year. Like these delays and like these issues are just very, very unreasonable. I mean, you know why it happens. It's because like they don't have anything exciting to show. So they sort of have to like just keep padding these things out. That's why Final Fantasy VII is episodic. They're going to be like, oh, well, we're going to release Final Fantasy VII for like 20 years. I don't know, 10 years. Yeah, that is a good point. That is a good point. When exactly is Final Fantasy VII going to end? Like, when exactly is it going to reach the point? I should probably charge my computer. When exactly? When exactly is Final Fantasy VII going to end? Like, how long is it going to take them to finish this episodic release? You're not aware that Final Fantasy VII was episodic? Yeah, I was wondering, because people have been bringing this up on 4chan. I was wondering, are people aware that Final Fantasy VII R is episodic? Because I get the impression that most casual fans are not. Like, I get the impression people really do think you're getting the entire game, but no, it's an episodic release. Like, all you're getting in the first part of Final Fantasy VII is apparently the Midgar section at the beginning. Like, I'm not sure entirely exactly what it ends, but I imagine it's when you leave Midgar, like before the end of Disc 1 in the original release. Like, that's Final Fantasy VII R. They pad out Midgar to be like a 20-hour game. It sounds and looks terrible. I am not impressed. I am not impressed at all. Yes, it is $60. The first part of Final Fantasy VII R is $60. So that means you're gonna have to pay $60 for part 2 as well. It's a complete joke, and like there's also the question of it being the end of a console generation, so we might not actually see the final part of this come out in PS4. So your big PS4 exclusive for 2020, Final Fantasy VII R, the same game that came out in 1997. It's not even going to come out, be complete on PS4. It's going to be finished on PS5. You're going to have to buy an entirely new console to finish the story that has been finished since 1997. It's terrible. It's a complete mess. They always find new and inventive ways to like completely fuck everything up. It's just unbelievable. Like Death Stranding is completely different than this. Like Death Stranding. Yeah, people have brought that up. Like Sword and Shield, there's something wrong with Sword and Shield, like compared to this, and yet people are like raging about Sword and Shield at the time. Well, Final Fantasy VII R is doing so much worse and has been doing so much worse. Like this is a game that really should have been made in 2006 for the PS3. There was never any excuse to like delay releasing Final Fantasy VII R or delay making it essentially. Just like there was no justification to like change the story or change the gameplay, like change everything about it, make it episodic. Like, I really hope this game bombs. I really, really hope that people lose interest, and I do think that's actually going to be a problem. Is that like Square is going to put a bunch of money into these the second, third, and fourth parts. 3, I imagine. If it's more than 3, they're completely fucked. But I think 3 is the amount they're going for. That's what I think they're going to do. Like it could be more than that, but I suspect it might be actually. But I'm going to be conservative here and say like it's only 3 parts. Like if people don't like Final Fantasy VII R, they're not going to buy the other parts. Like they're not going to go out of their way to like, oh, I'm sure they're going to fix it. Why would they get? Oops. My connection was unstable. Am I still online? I think it is. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, I'm getting messages. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I think people are going to be like very, very disappointed by Final Fantasy VII R. It's going to be It's going to be a disaster. I expect it to really like harm the legacy of the brand. To be honest with you, I think this is going to be the moment that really solidifies towards like casual audiences. Like Square is not what they used to be. Like I think most people are mostly just have this perspective that like maybe I'm not into Final Fantasy anymore, maybe it's not for me, but I really love Final Fantasy 7. I thought it was great on the Sony PlayStation, and now that they're making the remake that's targeting these people, it's really going to emphasize that like just how much better the original was, and how far Square has fallen in recent years. You know what I mean? Like you always see this with Final Fantasy fans. Like every time they release a new Final Fantasy game that sucks, like they're all terrible, people just, well, I liked the old ones. Well, of course you did, because they were good games. But like, it's taken a very long time for people to really become aware that Final Fantasy is like not as good as it used to be. Like Final Fantasy 15, I think 13 and 15 were sort of like in that direction. But like 7R, I think, is going to be like the apex of that, like the next major disaster step forward. Oof. Yep, Square is a bunch of squares for sure. Not impressed. Not impressed with Final Fantasy 7R. And like I got that copyright strike from them too, so I'm not too impressed with them by now either. I guess it was leaked footage, but oof. I'm not too impressed with let's see. Final Fantasy 7R, Square, let's see, PS5. Yep, Sony and PS5 will skip E3 2020 as the now infamous events continues to. Oh no, Yang Ye is damage controlling again. Holy shit! Let me look at the. That was an image. So let me see. He's damage controlling Sony again. Like holy crap! What is he doing? Let's see. Sony and PS5 will skip E3 2020 as the now infamous event continues to shrink in relevance. More like Sony PlayStation is becoming irrelevant. Am I right? Yeah, fuck PlayStation. Okay. Let's see. Is there any other news? Gaming news? I'm wondering when Persona 5 is going to come out on Switch. When is 5R coming out? Yes, Yang Ye is a terrible Kojima shill. Like this was one of the guys who was like damage controlling Death Stranding the hardest. I'm not sure what his stance on it now is, but this I live streamed his reaction to like that infamous like Death Stranding gameplay footage where like everyone realized like all at once that this game was going to be a boring piece of shit. And he was seriously like sitting there, like trying to find something positive to say about it. It was like the most blatant example of like shilling I've ever seen in my life. I am very unimpressed with him. I really am. Oh, by the way, please consider buying my book, Eye of the Dragon. It is an adventure story. Oof. Yeah, I definitely need to start like in ancient times, dragons fought and protect humans from those deadly creatures imaginable. Today, the Order of the Dragon follows in this tradition, training knights from all over the world to fight in order to protect humanity. So yeah, this is a book I wrote. Please buy it. Yep. Whoa, Review Tech USA better than Yang Ye? Whoa, that's a hot take. They're both pretty terrible. Um, Personally, I have more of a history with Review Tech USA, so I personally dislike him more. I've been like following along with his shit in like since 2012 or something crazy like that, and it's just. I was there for like the big cheese incident. I was there for like the beginning of of this generation, where he was like trying to tell people that like PlayStation's online network was completely shot and like it would not be functional for like a year after launch, or something crazy like that. That like the Xbox would have like way better visuals because of it, or some crazy shit like that. It was some bizarre conspiracy theory. Shuhei Yoshida himself called him out on it. It was just like, wow, I had a really reliable source. Yeah, that guy is probably the reason I don't trust people who like talk about reliable sources in the gaming industry. Oof. I got excited too. I honestly thought this was going to be a disaster, but nope. The Big Cheese Crusaders. I'm so sad that they don't exist anymore, because that was like the funniest thing for like the longest time, and that like you could not go down to Review Tech USA's comment section without them coming in and just shitting all over him. Like Big Cheese says, what did they used to say? Rich owes Big Cheese $200. They used to be so clever and funny about it. It was hilarious. Oof. Yes. I'm definitely going to put myself out there and try to become like an independent creator. That's technically what I'm doing now, actually. Trying to sell my book to people. Um, well, selling my book to people. Considering starting a proper YouTube channel. Becoming a partner and making money off of YouTube. Uh, Streaming games on Twitch. I'm definitely interested in that now at this point. Right now, I just need to get my view count up and get the software up, get the editing software up. Hopefully, I'll be able to produce videos once a week. Like, I think that's my plan, is that I'll be able to like just make videos the way I make them now, just with more editing. So I think I still want no editing, obviously, but we'll have to see how I'm gonna milk. How I'm going to get more subscribers, because I've honestly never really cared about that until recently. Now that I'm like a published author and need to expand my reach, it's now something I'm considering. So people get mad at my hot takes already. Just unbelievable. Like I keep getting brought up in the corporate slave awards because Video Game Lover 58 goes on there on the chat and always brings me up. And like those guys know who I am. Like for some reason I didn't get nominated this year, which was kind of disappointing. But last year I was. Last year, oof. The boomers are just Boo, 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 boo. I mean, I'm getting a pretty sizable Twitter following, 1,300 at this point. I'm really expanding. Let me see here. Really expanding my reach. I get plenty of likes on my content. And I think once I start promoting Cruel and Beautiful, I'll have like a month to do it. I think I'll be able to talk about it and like the plan right now was to sell more copies of Cruel and Beautiful than Eye of the Dragon, which I hope I'll be able to do, and then help them. Hopefully, they'll have some cross audience appeal, and hopefully, like people will start being excited for stuff I work on in the future, rather than just stumbling across something I made on Amazon. Yes. Yes, I'll definitely be reviewing books. I'll be trying to review movies, review stuff, talking about games, gaming news, all sorts of stuff. I'm really excited for it. Review Books USA. Great. I'd rather just establish my own brand, though, to be honest with you. I'm definitely seeing a lot more people tune into live streams and stuff like that. I think as long as I stream every day or regularly, I'll be able to build an audience. I mean, people enjoy the streams, I can tell. So, oof. Even when like I'm just sitting here editing, I'm able to like spin it into something interesting, and I can get a lot done. Oof. Yeah, I guess an hour and a half every day is probably my ideal, honestly. I guess that should be my goal to like live stream an hour and a half every day. Maybe some game footage. I don't know. Maybe I kind of like doing this, just sitting here talking to people while I work on the book. I mean, I made some pretty sizable progress today, about like 30 pages, and I'm in two minds about this. Really? I would say Metro. I would say RPGs are worse. Maybe it's because I understand. I don't know. I can't think of a Metroidvania game I've stepped away from from a significant amount of time. I don't know. I don't have a problem coming back to Metroidvanias. To be honest with you. Oof. Oh yeah, it took me a while to beat Hollow Knight. It's very difficult to figure out how where everything is in that game. There's so much weird hidden bullshit everywhere, and you can it's so non-linear. You can go all sorts of places like right off the bat, like before you're ready. Really, it's great. I love it. I love Hollow Knight. I prefer it in Dark Souls for sure. Yeah, I think I'm about ready to stop, to be honest with you. Oof. I think I'm about ready to get going. Oof. Yep, I think I'll watch some anime and then leave for the night. I think I'll go to the gym. By the way, I have finished setting up my squat rack, and my bar should be getting here tomorrow. So I should be able to lift from home in the next couple of days. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to that. All right, so thank you all for tuning in. I'll definitely try and come back tomorrow, and I'll see you all then. Thank you.